All right. We go from that to Kane walking in on Ryback backstage. Pretty much this promo is Kane trying to convince Ryback, hey, I'm going to be at ringside for your match tonight. Ryback telling him, hey, I'm the big guy. I can take care of my own business. I don't need anybody's help. And Kane says, hey, well, you better watch your attitude. You better start being a team player. When I tell you that something's going to happen, it's going to happen. This isn't just about you. And that Ryback should follow his lead. Ryback, of course, again, showing disinterest, saying he's got it. Ryback walks off, and Kane just looks so pissed that he just keeps getting disrespected by anybody. So,
yeah, this was a decent segment. There was a better one later on in the night, but yeah. Ryback just kind of ignoring the authority was really the first sign that he wasn't really on their team, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I think you and I got that impression from the outset. In fact, I've got to be honest, I was surprised so many people were actually convinced that Ryback did have a heel turn. Because, I just think he came back as a babyface, and this is going to kind of be their way, I think, as you said, to establish him more as an anti-hero. But, yeah, this was definitely the first seed that was planted to let everybody in on, he's got problems with the authority after all. So, with that, we go to Paige versus Alicia Fox. Must be great for Paige to wrestle in her own country. This was one of the best reactions on the show. Yeah, definitely. Paige definitely soaked it in. She had fun with it, it seemed like. This wasn't a bad match. They had some cool spots here, like one spot that stuck out. Alicia Fox, I think, was trying to follow up one successful tilt-a-whirl backbreaker with another, but then Paige shifted her weight, and she was able to get into a pinning combination on Alicia, so that was pretty cool. Had a decent back and forth, but ultimately Paige does get the win after the Rampage. And, of course, the crowd's very appreciative of that, hometown hero getting the win. So, yeah, Paige moves onward, and I don't know when she'll get another Divas Championship match again. We know that she is going to be involved in the latter half of this latest season of Total Divas. That should be interesting. But no matter what Paige does, I'm sure it'll be excellent, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we really have anything to talk about here? I mean, honestly, I might have missed when Paige and Alicia Fox kind of broke off. Wait, I thought that they got back together, though. Like, who was the babyface? I guess Paige was because of the crowd, right?
Right.
Yeah, so this was, this match felt like filler. It was just like, well, let's just toss Paige out there and have her go against somebody that can play heel, and Alicia Fox is the queen of turns, so we might as well just use her.
Yeah, there you go. Pretty much. So, with that said, we then cut to another backstage segment, this time Stephanie McMahon approaching Lana and Rusev, and to quickly surmise this one, Stephanie does congratulate them, but, points out, hey, the authority made all this happen for you, so I think it's time to pay it forward. Lana starts to bring up Putin again and politics, and then Stephanie cuts her off. Stephanie was fierce in the two segments that she would have with Lana and Rusev, and say that there are no politics in WWE. And when Lana still shows that she's protesting, Stephanie just breaks down completely and says, "You listen to me, you little Russian twit." And pretty much saying, yeah, you guys owe us now. So, yeah, this is like some baseball bats to kneecaps sort of deal here.
Yeah, this was... I really hated what Stephanie did here. Humanizing Lana, just... And besides, everyone knows she was intending to say twat, not twit. So it's like, Steph, if you're gonna say it, you might as well just say it.
Right.
I would have rather heard her just full on just go on and say twat rather than sugarcoat it and being like, oh, you twit. Whatever.
Yeah. We do get the first of two New Day vignettes, but this one is the same one with Xavier Woods, so I don't even really want to touch on this again. Do you? Do you have anything you want to...
No, I don't have anything to add. This had me worried because I was like, oh crap, they're not changing anything. But then we got something later on and I was like, okay, this is par for the course. This is what I was expecting.
Yeah, we got something later on that got me, quite excited, so I'll be excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
We then see Triple H and Stephanie backstage, watching a clip of Vince making the Survivor Series announcement. Triple H and Stephanie go back and forth on why Vince is trying to do this to them. Then, of course, they just say that it doesn't matter because Team Cena won't win, and they share a nice couple's kiss. And, this may be, because I heard a long while back that the angle they wanted to do with Vince was ultimately a representative of Vince McMahon versus a representative of Triple H, or Triple H himself at WrestleMania for Vince to just oust the Authority. They may still do that, it seems like, with all these teasers about being upset with Vince, but I wouldn't bank on it just yet. I'm very tentative about endorsing that or not. But if they do, it could be an interesting WrestleMania angle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with that said, we have Rusev and Lana come out for a victory celebration. Really, not much to say here. I mean, Lana says how ironic it is that a Russian is holding the U.S. title. It's the ultimate symbol of Russian superiority over the U.S. And then we have one speaker speak out and say that Putin couldn't be more proud.
Can I just point out that his fake accent was awful?
Yeah, it was. And it gets a lot of what chants. And
you know how to identify a fake accent?
How do you do that?
Excessive trilling of the R's.
That's always key. It's always key.
Yeah, because just because this is the first thing that popped in my mind, if somebody is actually Spanish, they won't just. It's kind of hard to explain. So say we're talking about, and I'm going to say it in the whitest, most English way that I can imagine, Raquel Diaz, who used to be in FCW and NXT. She's Eddie Guerrero's daughter, Shaul Guerrero, but that was her WWE name. If you were Spanish, you would just say Raquel Diaz. But if you're a white boy trying to fake a Spanish accent, it's Raquel Diaz. You overdo the trills. And this guy was overdoing the Russian trills big time.
Definitely. Russian national anthem plays, but then Sheamus hits the ring, which is pretty much our segue into the United States Championship match. I already talked about the finish, so everything else, it wasn't bad. There was one really kind of awkward spot that I think commentary tried to play up as Rusev being too big, and that Sheamus failing to get the cloverleaf in on Rusev. And apparently there was a brief "you effed up" chant from the crowd. So yeah, they were all over him. Not a bad match. Personally, I enjoyed their network match better. I think one reviewer that I consistently read said it best. I don't know if Rusev is at the stage of his game, even though he's gotten so much better from NXT, where he's ready to have 15-plus matches yet. I think he can get there, though. I do. If he's grown this much, I think he can continue.
I think that the key to him having long matches is that he is absolutely underrated at the art of selling, dude. He's so good at it.
He really is. I'm telling you, dude. He's an extraordinary big man talent. I'm really surprised at how much he's grown from NXT, because I thought, I liked him, but I didn't really know.
The one thing that we always talked about that he did right on NXT, though, was the nuances, the little things that he always seemed to get right on NXT.
Yeah, he was really good about that kind of stuff, dude, consistently. And that's why I think that match he had with Big Show a couple of Raws ago, where he was doing a lot of the selling, really impressed me, because I'm like, wow, here's this multifaceted talent. And I think we need to see more of that if Rusev is going to be that big enough player where he tells him and John Cena, hey, you guys are going to go out and you're going to work for 20-plus minutes. So,
right.
Something to keep in mind. So Sheamus does get screwed here. He's dejected. He's like, oh man. Again, another big thing. I know a lot of people are saying they want Sheamus to turn heel at 2015. That's a lot of people's, one of their top things on their wish list for 2015 as far as WWE is concerned. And I would actually be one of them. I think a heel turn.
Join the Authority, Sheamus.
Maybe, or just go back to Bro kicking people's heads off and just being an arrogant Irishman, whichever one works.
So basically do his exact current character, but to baby faces instead of heels.
Well, exactly, because as a babyface, you can't even really say that he owns it, because he would still like to think that he's a good guy, but he's not. He's an asshole. So, there you go. Here we get our second Stephanie McMahon and Lana segment. And, Stephanie congratulates them, and she says, so are you guys ready to join Team Authority? Rusev does give a nod after Lana looks to him and says, and then Lana starts to say that President Putin will be so happy. Well, she starts to say that he's going to be so happy about it, but then Stephanie cuts her off and says, I don't give a damn what President Putin says or thinks. It's about what the Authority wants. And then Stephanie says that they will crush Team Cena together and walks off. See, I don't understand this. Like, Lana already agreed, Rusev already agreed, really, to be a part of Team Authority. You can just have Lana extend that olive branch. But no, Stephanie just had to be a bitch here and be like, well, it's about what the Authority wants, and then try and rally with them by using the crush thing. It just, I don't know. Seemed like being a douche for no other reason than to be a douche, so.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that there.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Stephanie talking down to Rusev and Lana. She should be trying to kiss their butts.
Definitely. I mean, look at Rusev. You should. I mean, the way that Stephanie was making all these promises to Ryback, that's what she should have been doing with Rusev.
Yeah.
You know, like, that should be the ploy. But anyway.
I love how she went full on House of Cards here, though. Like, she did a favor without being asked, and then she expected something in return for it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you know, even by kayfabe standards, Rusev had more than already earned contendership anyway. It's not like he even needed the Authority's assistance. But as Dolph Ziggler would say, whatevs. So